Every Nigerian knows the feeling. You walk into church and you leave the fear outside. The kidnapping, the rising prices, the daily wahala, it all stops at the door. We believe the sanctuary is the place the devil cannot touch. But on Tuesday, November 18th, 2025, that belief died in Eruku. It was 6 p.m. evening service at Christ Apostolic Church. The choir was singing, the people were praying. Then came the sound every villager's dreads. The mechanical scream of 20 motorbikes surrounding the building. In 60 seconds, the house of God became a slaughterhouse. These weren't spirits, they were men with rifles. They didn't ask for offerings, they asked for lives. 5 worshippers were gunned down right there in the pews. 15 others, including the pastor, were marched into the forest like cattle. Imagine you are sitting in church on a Tuesday evening. You've had a long day and you're just trying to find a moment of peace. You're praying, feel safe, then you hear it. It starts as a hum in distance, but it gets louder and louder until it sounds like a swarm of angry hornets right outside the door. You open your eyes and suddenly you are not looking at the altar anymore. You are staring down the barrel of an AK-47. This isn't a nightmare at all. This is exactly what happened this Tuesday in Eruku, Kwara State, where over 20 gunmen didn't just interrupt a service, they turned a sanctuary into a slaughterhouse. If you think the church is the one place where you can't be touched, my dear brothers, you are wrong. Here is how it went down. Witnesses say it was a convoy, over 20 men on motorbikes, engines screaming, kicking up dust everywhere, and they weren't silent. That's the details you can't ignore. It tells us exactly who we are dealing with. It tells us this wasn't a random gang of local boys looking for trouble. This was an organized militia. Inside the church, panic took over. 1 minute, you are singing a hymn, the next, the doors are blocked by men holding rifles. The sanctuary, the one place where you are supposed to be untouchable, turned into a cage. They didn't hesitate, they opened fire. We lost good that night. Mr. Aderemi never made it out. The police found his body right there inside the church at the CAC Oke Isegun. He died in the house of God. Then there was Mr. Tunde Asaba Ajayi. He tried to run. He made a break for it, maybe hoping to get help, maybe just trying to survive. They found his body later out in the bush. But for the ones who survived the bullets, the nightmare was just starting. The gunmen grabbed the pastor. Then they grabbed 15 other worshippers. Men, women, it didn't matter. They rounded them up like cattle and forced them out of the church. Imagine that walk, leaving the light of the town behind, gun to your back, marching straight into the thick black forests of the Kwara Kogi borders. They weren't just robbing a church, they were harvesting hostages. You might be thinking, okay, this was just one terrible night in Eruku, a tragic coincidence, right? You are wrong. While the people of Eruku were facing rifles in church, something else was happening just across the border in Kogi State. Same day, same terror. In a town called Okoloke, a timber merchant, everyone calls him Baba Timber, was out on a farmland with his staff. They were just doing their job. cutting wood, minding their business. They were being watched. One of the workers, a guy named Temitope, managed to escape, and he said, "Chills me to the bone." He didn't hear motorbikes this time. He said the terrorists emerged from the bush without a sound. Think about that. No warning shots, no screaming engines, no silence until it was too late. They snatched Baba Timba and his workers before they even knew they were under attack. This isn't a random violence. Look at the map. If you draw a line from Kaiama to Eruku, then down to Okoloke and Egbe, you don't see random towns, you see highways. The experts are calling it a terror corridor. It's a back door through the forest that connect Kwara and Kogi. These militias use this bush path to move hostages, weapons and supplies without even touching a police checkpoint. They aren't just hiding in the forest, they own it. So, where are the police? To their credit, they didn't stay back. When the gunshot cracked through the evening air, the DPO of Eruku and his team moved in. They linked up with the local community guards and engaged the gunmen. Superintendent Aderemi confirmed there was a firefight. They forced the attackers to retreat. They stopped them from burning the place down. But here is hard reality of a night raid. By the time help arrives, the damage is usually done. The gunmen fled into the bush and they took the pastor and his flock with them. Now the community is angry and they have every right to be. Listen to Mr. Musa Ogundele. He is the man leading the community guard in Eruku. He isn't asking for thoughts and prayers. He is issuing a warning. He said, if the government cannot shield our churches and farms, then we will defend, we will patrol, and we will not surrender. That's not just a quote. That is the sound of citizens who realize they are on their own. They are being forced to become soldiers in their own backyards. Why is this happening? Retired General Bashir Absalam says we need to stop pretending this is just banditry. He calls it a Boko Haram style operation. Think about the tactics. They embedded in the forest. They strike soft targets like churches. They take hostages for leverage. It's the same playbook we saw in the northeast. But now it's expanding west. The general says the federal government's silence is making it worse. By refusing to label this group as terrorists, the government is giving them room to breathe. The experts are screaming that this is getting out of control. The locals are aiming themselves and the government. The locals are harming themselves and the government, they are still playing catch up. So, where does this leave us? Eruku is a town under siege, and you don't need a military blockage to be under siege. You just need fear. Right now, farmers are too scared to go to their fields. That means no food. That means hunger is coming next. Worshippers, people who just want to pray, are looking over their shoulders at the church door, wondering if they are the next. This is the reality of the Middle Belt today. It's not just about one night of violence, it's about the permanent shadow it leaves behind. I want to leave you with a question. If armed men can ride into a town, walk into a holy place, kill 3 people, and drag a pastor into the forest, and then just vanish, where exactly are we safe? Is it your home? your firm, or your church? The people of Eruku are waiting for an answer, and quite frankly, so I am. For Dami Talks Crime, I say keep your eyes open and still safe. Till I see you next time, don't forget to share, like, subscribe, and see you on the next episode.